All right, here we go. Red Ice Hockey. This is Game 3 in the series between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The series is tied 1-1. Toronto hammered Boston in the first home game in Boston, 3-1. And Boston rectified those defensive woes and in Game 2 held the Toronto Maple Leafs down with only, let me see how many shots on goal, with 27 shots on goal, no goals. Boston, in their first game against Toronto at home, had only 20 shots and one goal. Yesterday, or I should say, whatever it did, this would have been a few days off in travel. Boston now comes into Toronto, but in their last game, the game Boston won, they only scored one goal, but they had 34 shots on goal. So Boston did a couple of things right to get back on track. They stymied Toronto's shots, and they obviously, their netminder Brimsek stopped everything. So Boston now travels to Toronto, and I'm telling you, this is going to probably end up being the series. This will end up being probably the best series, despite who may get to the championship. So in a way, I'm going to probably enjoy this series more than I'll enjoy the championship, but we'll see. And by the way, Montreal and Detroit's now going to Montreal for their Game 3. But so far, this has been incredibly fun. This is 1942-43. The war is on, and folks need respite from the horrors of war, and why not hockey? Boston wins the face-off, but Toronto's defense is in control. I'm borrowing a John Turnbull's playing with an extra set of dice, so he knows the shots on goal immediately. So Boston is getting 4 shots on goal against this defense during this period, and 11 is going to be nothing. So I already know the period. I already know the segment's done, and I got 4 shots on goal, baby. So using this allows me to not have to pick up the dice and roll again until there's assists. All right, very good. Toronto now. Toronto gets the puck away, but Boston backpedaling. And we're going to be looking at, so 10, we're going to be looking at 4 shots on goal here. 9-13 is going to be a power play opportunity for Toronto against this defense. And it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12 is going to be a no goal. But we also got 4 shots on goal. So in a way, I can see the shots on goal before I narrate or understand the action. All right, Boston, here we go. It's going to be defense again. So both teams, I'm going to put D here, by the way. Both teams in defense mode. And we're going to have 2 shots on goal. 9, 10, 11 is going to be nothing at all. And they're going to end up with 7. They're going to end up with 2 shots on goal. Holy cow. Toronto's finally, no, it's defense again. So it's been nothing but defense. Both these teams dominating here. 9, 10, 11, 12 is going to be a power play opportunity again. So once again, Boston frustrating Toronto into power play situations with 3 shots on goal during this segment. And it's going to be a no-goal situation. 3 shots on goal. So I can see Boston's defense playing so rough and tumble that they're forcing Toronto into these special team situations, or maybe shorthanded, right? Toronto ends up with a penalty. Wow, and defense again for Boston. Holy cow. And Boston, it looks like here, is going to get 4 shots on goal, and it's going to be a no-goal opportunity. But boy, they are putting shots on the goalie. And Toronto, defense again. My God, this has been, every roll has been defense. You got to be kidding me. What are the odds? It's going to be 2 shots on goal. 9, 10 is going to be nothing. So 2 shots on goal. And folks, we're in the final 5 minutes of the first period. There are no goals in the game. Oh, finally, Boston's offense finds a seam, opens up the ice, spreads out, and starts creating better angles. They're going to get 4 shots on goal. 9, 10, 11, 12 is going to be a power play opportunity for Boston. And Boston has decent chance here. 9, 10, no goal. And they did get 4 shots on goal in that period, or that segment. And here we go, the final 5 minutes for Toronto at home, the crowd on their feet. And finally, their offense steps up. They're going to get 3 shots on goal to get this goal. goal, folks. That's going to make 4 shots on goal, and they do score. And Toronto, for the second time in this series, has been the first to score. 88 is going to get that score. That is Jack McLean, baby. Jack McLean. And assists. We're going to get 2 assists. The first one coming from Bill Taylor, stud. And the second coming from 26 is going to be Hill. Hill and Taylor assisting McLean for the first goal. And that literally comes at the end of the period. And Toronto leads after 1, scoring late in the final 5 minutes. And Toronto at home in front of standing, applauding, cheering fans, the Maple Leafs will go into the locker room with a 1-goal lead. Boston now again dealing with the fact that they've fallen behind to Toronto twice in this series. And the last time this happened, Toronto went on to score 3 goals and stymied Boston all day long. We got 8, 9, oh man, we got 12, 14 shots on goal for Boston. That is phenomenal. Boston finished last game with 14 shots on goal, and they opened this game up with 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shots on goal for Toronto. Holy cow, folks. And still 6 minutes of power play, assuming they're all 2-minute minors. Holy cow, folks. This is these teams in the Game 3 have ratcheted up the offense despite the defenses clamping down. It's so cool. You can see how we're informed by whether it's defenses, how many shots are getting off. Unbelievable. It's really fantastic. Okay, so it does definitely inform us as to what kind of game is happening in front of us. All right, starting the second period, Boston down 1-0. And again, Toronto's defense is going to set the tone here. And it's going to be 11. And 11 is a no-goal situation and 2 shots on goal for Boston. All right, here we go. Offense. Okay, so Toronto now is starting to fill their, and they're starting to maybe get advantage here as they've got a 1-goal lead. They might be opening it up a little bit. 13 is going to be a power play opportunity, so maybe they've gotten Boston in a bad way. It's going to be 10-11 is going to be a no-goal situation, and they did get 3 shots on goal during that 5 minutes. We're coming back around to Boston, who's trailing by a goal. They would like to get some shots on Broda here. It's going to be offense, so that's good. Boston's offense finally expressing itself a little bit here. We're going to have 10-12. 12 is going to be a power play opportunity for Boston. And they actually do have a better chance than Toronto. 11, 12, 13. Oh, they just missed scoring, but they did get 3 shots on goal. Dang, Boston was so close to getting a power play goal there. Toronto really just wants to play sound defense and give Broda all the support they can. But it's going to be that defense of Boston controlling the game here. 10 is no goal. And we're going to get 2 more shots by Toronto with a 1-goal lead in front of hometown fans. You can imagine the tension that's starting to ramp up here. Defense, Maple Leafs, controlling this segment. 18 is a power play opportunity for Boston, and they need, again, this is not in the Maple Leafs, so basically the Boston power play offense and the Maple Leaf power play defense are not in the Maple Leafs' best interest. They want to stay out of these situations, 11. However, fortunately, they only allow 1 shot on goal during that, as Toronto is surviving these special teams. And then we're going to get offense. So Toronto here in their third segment, 15 minutes in, they're going to get 9, 10, 11, 12. They're going to get a power play of their own. But again, this does not benefit them. And with 4 shots on goal, 9, 10, 11, they're not going to score with 4 shots on goal. And now Boston in the final 5 minutes of the second period, down by 1. Their offense finally opens it up a bit, and we're going to score, I think, 8. No, we missed the goal. It's not going to be a goal. They get 2 shots, but that's going to end it for them. And Toronto would love to do it again. Score a goal in the final moments of this period. That's what they did in the last period. 10-14 is going to be another power play opportunity. And again, this bodes well, actually, for Toronto, because we've got a really... not really porous, but their best chance of scoring is right here. And it's going to be 12-13, no score, and Toronto does get 3 shots on goal. And that ends it, folks. 0-0 that period. 7-12. 12 shots on goal for Toronto. 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 shots on goal for Boston. So Toronto is now doing to Boston what they did in Game 1. They scored early, and now they're holding Boston's shots down. Unbelievable. What a game, folks. This is huge. This would give Toronto a game edge with another game here at home before we would go to the deciding game 5. So, well, technically, no, I guess if Toronto won this and the other, they would win the whole thing. So they need this, and then they're at home for the deciding game 4. If Boston, of course, steals that, we'd go back to Boston for the final game 5. Holy cow. Third period underway, and right now it is 22 shots to 25 shots. And Toronto with a 1-goal lead at home. Third period underway. Boston now, they've decided to open up their offense a little bit. And 3 is going to be a 2-goal. Holy cow. They opened it up with a 2-goal. Holy cow. Goal 1 and goal 2. Holy cow, 2 goals scored. I rolled a 3, folks. That is so rare. And that's going to give them 9. That's 3, 4, 5 shots on goal. So they opened up the third period determined to knot the game, and they end up stealing 2 goals. The first one by Bill Cowley. And the assist situation for the first goal is going to be 42. On the button, there are 2. Cowley cannot be an assister, so 50. It's going to be Chamberlain's second point of the series. And who is the second assist man? 29 is going to be Bowl. The second goal scored by 34. This is going to be Jackson. Art Jackson gets the second goal. And the Toronto fans are absolutely... And again, it's going to be... Jackson can't get his own. It's going to be... Nope, Jackson. 96. It's going to be Boyd with an assist. And the second one is 26. That's going to be Jackson again. He can't get his own. It's going to be Cowley. So Cowley with 2 points in the first 5 minutes of the third period. And holy cow, folks, the Toronto fans are absolutely beside themselves as Boston comes out on offense, rolled a 3, and bang, bang goals in the first 5 minutes of action. And Toronto now needs to get a goal just to tie it up as Boston shocks the Maple Leaf fans. It's offense for Boston. Oh, and I think Boston's got 3, another 3. Oh, wait, what am I saying? 3, 6. Goal! So look at this. They knot it up. Holy cow, 9. It's going to be 4 shots on goal. And we're going to get a goal from Toronto from number 90. That is McLean. Son of a gun. I love it. McLean gets a goal. What are the assist situation looks like? It's going to be 2 people helping. 19 is going to be Carr. And the second goal, baby, is 30. And I love it. As I said before, Toronto is my favorite team until we landed the Colorado Avalanche here in Denver. And the Avs became my team, of course, after we got a team. But prior to that, Toronto was always my favorite NHL team. Can you believe it, folks? It's 2-2. And so just like that, McLean, just a few moments after the second goal scored, Boston scores 2 unanswered, and then McLean answers to make it 2-2, folks. And the fans here on their feet, as this is now turned into one heck of a game. Offense is now taking over in the third period. 12 for them is going to be a power play opportunity for Boston. And Boston's got a decent opportunity here. It's going to be 12, no goal. But they did get 12. They got 4 more shots on goal. They are absolutely peppering Broda. The Toronto Maple Leaf defense has become a sieve, allowing 9 shots on goal in 10 minutes. Defense. Boston now playing defense. And they're going to give up a goal, I think. Yep, goal! You gotta be kidding me. Boston gives up a goal. And that's going to be 3 shots on goal. And Bremsek now relinquishes the lead to 12. Carr's going to score, folks. That's his second point of the night. And assist. It's going to be 1 assist on this, 1 aid. 65's going to help. That is Apps, A-P-P-S. Gets an unbelievable. The fans here now in Toronto are rocking as they have just, again, we have seen 4 goals in the first 10 minutes of the third period, as this game has suddenly changed, complete change of atmosphere here, as the offenses have figured out the riddle of the defenses, and now goalies are giving up goals. It's going to be offense for Boston, and I'm going to roll a 10. It's going to be a no-goal situation, but they get another 4 shots on goal. That is the craziest thing. Down 3-2 to Toronto. Hometown fans cheer as Toronto continues to press on offense with 10-13 is another power play opportunity. And it's going to be at least 2 shots on goal. Power play not so hot for Toronto. And no, not going to be a goal here when we got 2 shots on goal. All right, this is it. The final segment. Boston down by 1. We're going to check if they get an empty net situation. They do not, so they're just going to play a straight segment of hockey and try to get back into this game. But Toronto's defense is pushing. They're forechecking. They are skating, and they're trying to double up men who get free. They're all over the ice. Toronto knows this final moment. They have to push. If they're tired, it doesn't matter. They got to push. They got to stay free of getting a penalty. And I'm going to roll an 8. 8 is a goal. You've got to be kidding me. They've given up a goal, folks. And that's on only 2 shots, and it's tied up as Boston in their final moments are going to score a game-tying goal, but Toronto still gets their chance. 22, it's going to be Buzz Bull. That is his 2nd goal of the series. How many people help Buzz get this? Only one is going to help Buzz. And this person is 82. 82 is going to be Jackson, Busher Jackson. So B. Jackson gets the assist. And folks, it's 3-3, and this is now it. Final segment. Now I'm going to go ahead and do so because they because they allowed a tie. They're not going to go empty goal. There'll be no reason with a tie here late they're going to go empty goal. We're just going to play the segment. And here we go. It's going to be defense. Boston. I think we're going to be looking at overtime here, folks. Defense. It's going to be 10, 11, 12. It's going to be a power play opportunity. Holy cow, here we go. And this is actually beneficial for Toronto as they give up more options. 8, 9, 10 is going to be a no-goal situation, and Toronto got 4 shots off in the final moments, but no goal. And we're going to be going into overtime, folks. It is 3-3 in regulation. 9, 13, 15 shots on goal for Boston, and it proves out that kind of aggressiveness earned them 3 goals in this third period. And we get 12, 30, 40, we get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shots on goal for Toronto. Boy, these are the most shots in a game for Boston and Toronto in this series, as both teams have opened up their offenses. Holy cow. Overtime. Overtime simple. 1 segment, baby. So we're going to drop it for Boston. This is sudden death. So what I'm going to do sudden death. So first score wins. Back in 1942-43, they did play sudden death overtime full periods. Or 10-minute periods. Or actually, I think they were 20-minute periods. Point is, it's overtime. So that's huge. So I'm going to roll. Odd Boston gets the first roll. A chance to win the game in 1 shot. No, it's going to be Toronto. So Toronto at home in overtime. They get the first segment roll. Because this is sudden death. And it's going to be offense. Can Toronto win this in sudden death? They're going to get 3 shots on goal, and 7, 8, 9, 10 is going to be a no goal. But they did get 3 shots on goal. Boston's going to get a chance now in this segment to win it on 1 shot. Defense. Toronto's playing defense. Uh-oh, not good. 7, 8, 9 is usually extra goal. Does not happen, so it's no shot or no goal. And they get 3 shots on goal. Man, here we go. We got to roll again. Odd Boston gets the first roll. Odd Boston with control of the puck in overtime. Sudden death. Maple Leafs defense. It's going to be 11-12. It's going to be a power play opportunity for Boston. This is actually huge because Toronto gives up more here. And it's going to be 8. That's it. Power play goal is going to win it for Boston. Holy cow, and don't be surprised if I'm not overly excited here as I'm rooting for Toronto. Boston on the road steals the first home game in this best of 5 series against Toronto with an overtime power play goal from 58. 58 is Kane. Dang, what a brilliant game. And 35 says Buzz Bowl, or actually 35 says we're going to get 2 assists. 65 says Kane can't get his own assist. 15, that's going to be Cowley. So Cowley scoring yet another point tonight. And 15, he can't get them both. 35, Buzz Bowl. So Buzz Bowl gets another point on tonight and in the series. And folks, we're going to see a 4-3. Boston takes a 2-1 series lead in Toronto. Unbelievable. Let's get a sip of coffee. This is coffee and hockey. Wow. Unbelievable. As I said before, both these teams create a lot of power plays on either side. And ultimately, that is clearly where these defenses gave up goals, was in shorthanded situations. So that's very cool. So Boston managed to goat Toronto into a penalty, or somehow somebody lapsed in discipline, got a penalty. I mean, that's a fun thing too. You could use these finders to determine penalties. 34, looking at an assist, that might have been Pratt. It's in the box, right? Pratt draws a penalty. They're in a shorthanded situation. Boston scores the sudden death overtime goal. And that would have been scored, by the way, in the 10-minute phase of the period, midway through the first overtime period. Next up, tomorrow sometime, I'll be playing Detroit at Montreal. This has been 1942-43 Red Ice Hockey by Powder Blue Sports. And I'm telling you what, I am enjoying this more than I have darn near anything recently, because I've also was playing this 2 weeks before John released it. So, bye-bye.